Last week, Nintendo dropped on us a new Indie World Showcase presentation, and watching it put the thought back into my head that we are not worthy of the Nintendo Switch. Seriously, the library of games that the Switch has built over the past 4 years has been nothing short of incredible, and it still keeps on growing with new games week after week after week. I fully believe that by the time the Switch's lifespan is up, we're gonna look back on it as having one of, if not the best library of any Nintendo console to date. So in today's video, I thought it would be fun to just change things up a little bit and share with you guys some of my favorite lesser known Switch Nindy games. What is up, my friends? It's Ray back here, and today I'm going to be sharing with you guys 5 of my favorite indie games on Nintendo Switch. Before we continue on though, I just want to remind you guys to smash that subscribe button and hit that bell notification icon so you can be notified by YouTube whenever I decide to live stream and upload new videos. There is so much content coming down the pipeline that I don't want you guys to miss a thing, so without further ado, let us get to this list. First on the list is There Is No Game Wrong Dimension. Seriously, I'm not sure how there is no game to play here, yet it ends up being one of the most clever, creative, and outrageous things that I've ever experienced. How in the world is that possible?
Haha, I knew it. It seemed too easy.
It's tough to place this game, or lack thereof, into an appropriate category, and I don't think you really can. There Is No Game Wrong Dimension has been around for quite some time as a PC title, but it fits right at home here on the Switch. Assuming the role of the user, this point-and-click adventure takes you on a journey across 6 very unique chapters where you have to solve riddles, figure out puzzles, and much more alongside the obnoxious game who tells you to do all of the things you shouldn't do, even if they're right. It's hilarious, insanely creative, and an adventure unlike anything else out there. There Is No Game had me hooked from start to finish. It might look like an easy title to venture through, but trust me, it is not. It makes your brain hurt trying to figure things out, and I can't tell you guys how many times I gave up and had to walk away for a break, but I mean that in a good way. There Is No Game Wrong Dimension is one of a kind, and easily one of my favorite indie titles on the Switch.
Farewell, everyone!
Next on the list is Fez. Fez is another insanely clever title that has been around for a while and finally made its way to the Switch. If you've played it before, you'll know exactly what to expect here. It's like the 2D side-scrolling games of old with visuals to match, but this time there's the twist of the third dimension that lets you explore the same levels but from various different perspectives. Like There Is No Game Wrong Dimension that I mentioned before, I found this to be a very unique twist as it adds a whole new level of difficulty to the traditional platforms that we're used to. Fez is guaranteed to give you a challenge as you solve puzzles and hunt down all the hidden squares in each level. If you're looking for some fun side-scrolling action with a retro feel and modern twist, Fez is guaranteed to give you just that. At number 3 here on the list is Hades. Hades is not only one of the best indie games on the Switch, but it's also one of the best Switch games like ever. Even though the game is one big loop with the same levels and the same enemies, it never once feels repetitive. Zagreus' journey to escape the underworld is intense from start to finish, and it's guaranteed to give you a new challenge each and every time you play it. The graphics are gorgeous, the soundtrack is incredible, and the dungeon crawler gameplay is simply perfect. Hades is as addicting as they come, and it's a true masterpiece in every sense of the word. If you haven't played it yet, you need to play it like right now. At number 4 is The Longing. The Longing is a bit of an odd game, yet it's also one of the most intriguing on this list. It's a point-and-click adventure game that's all about waiting. Yes, waiting. The game starts out with a giant king addressing his trusted servant, the Shade, who is the main character who you're going to be controlling throughout the game. The king tells the Shade that he's going to sleep for 400 days to regather his strength so he can end all fear and longing. The 400 days that the king talks about are actually 400 real-world days, meaning you've got a lot of time to fill. Luckily, you don't actually have to have the game on or play it for 400 days consistently. It counts in the background even if the game is off. Still, there's quite a bit of space to explore and some things to do to keep you busy. The Longing is a very minimal game and just an insane test of patience, yet it's something that also makes your mind wander while the Shade is walking around to pass the time by. You know, it makes you think about his struggles, it makes you think about your life in general, makes you question a lot of things. things. It's just one of those games that makes you think. What happens after the 400 days, I am not sure, but I'll report back when the king wakes up in about a year and a half. And lastly is Among Us. Among Us really needs no introduction given its popularity, but it's one of those games that just keeps you coming back for more. It takes a simple concept and executes it very, very well. Among Us is a game that I consistently go back to no matter how many times I've played it. It's incredibly addicting, and the fact that it's now on Nintendo Switch, in my opinion, makes it even better. Since I discovered Among Us, I've always wanted to play it with a controller, and the Switch finally makes that possible. Although the downside is that typing can be a challenge in this version, especially if your Switch is docked to the big screen. If you're playing in handheld mode, it's like playing on a smartphone, but with physical controls, and for that reason, the Switch is my favorite way to suss people out in Among Us. So there you have it, guys, 5 of my favorite indie games on Nintendo Switch. Now, I want to know what some of your favorite Switch indie games are in the comments below. I am always looking to discover new games to play from new and underrated developers, so let me know in the comments box down below. Not to mention, it can also help those who are looking for new games to play on their Nintendo Switch, so it's a win-win for everyone. There are just so many amazing games out there on the Switch, and the list on my backlog, oh my goodness, it just keeps getting longer and longer and longer. It's insane, but it's also a testament as to how many developers are truly on board with this amazing little console. Anywho, that's about it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it and found it helpful. If you did and you liked what you saw, be sure to give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button because it always helps out the channel. And until the next one, I'll catch you guys later. Peace!